bit about myself. God, why is this so hard? So the reason why I pause, I guess, between my words is because I really want to be careful the way I choose my words, basically. And it'll keep me from getting excited. Because if I were to get excited on camera, A, I would embarrass myself. And B, it would be non-stop, just rapid fire. My brain is very tangential. I can correlate 5 topics at once before I get to the second topic, and I'm already lost you on the first. So that's why I'm really talking slow. And I don't want to get carried away with something and then start talking about things that's going to get me even more banned or more, shadow banned or restricted or put on more lists. Because I'm pretty much already there. And I changed my name to I Killed MySpace and Walked Away. And then what happened? It died. What? I don't want to start sounding too egotistical grandiose, because I can get there really fast, and it's a big turnoff, I'm sure. So let's just talk a little bit about myself. My name is Borat. No, I'm a funny guy though, right? No. So my name is Michael. Here's my credentials. That story in the news is fake. Never went to prison. As soon as I beat the case, I went on to the website where they put the story and wrote, "This is fake news, LOL." And then the comments for all the major syndications disappeared for a while. So, a little bit about myself. I could go on and on about, the shit that I have to deal with from birth that has turned me into the person I am. But let's just say that when I was little and I saw 13 Monkeys or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or Fight Club or any movie where this revolutionary who just busts out of the nut house or is sick of his job or completely has a schism and then just winds up doing terroristic shit. I always was really a big fan of characters like Neo or kind of drawing a blank, but I never wanted to be the Joker. I think that I am a good person. Even though I was raised in bad, a fucked up evil world, according to the Bible, is run by the devil, right? So enough about my character. What else could I talk about myself here? I don't want to be a content creator, like in Fight Club, wanting to be along the line of, what's his name? I don't remember. The guy that says, you are the all dancing, all singing crap of the earth. I don't dance, I don't sing. I had a band, I guess, but it wasn't really music. So, I was a military brat from birth. Went to lots of private schools. Then I went to lots of high schools. And then I went to college in a couple of countries. And I joined a hacking organization. I came across a manual. I tried calling the FBI hotline. I just got a busy tone. So I sent it to the FBI electronically. And then on the same day that I got locked out of my hacking organization account, the FBI's server room somewhere got firebombed and the servers were stolen. And my dumbass was like, I got receipts, you know. There's no way in hell I've been hacked, you know, and what I had was important because there's children involved. So my dumbass calls the police, and long story short, they take me to a TRICARE West facility with a bunch of kids in there who were a hair's breadth away from killing their commanding officers. And on my first day, they give me to my room. I noticed a hair taped in the middle of the doorway, which I assume was some kind of ritualistic, you know, component of a weirdo who was in there. So that was great. And first thing on my pillow, you know, I walk into my room and I see some yellow pajamas for a child on my pillow, and then I pick him up and I see a rape form questionnaire filled out by a child with like the outline of a human body with instructions saying circle where you were touched or whatever. And then I noticed there's long blonde hairs on the yellow pajamas, and so I smell it and it didn't smell like it was clean, so I threw it onto the dresser, damn near shed a tear. You know, I went to my doorway and thought, you know, what the fuck kind of place is this? And then, long story short, after dealing with a bunch of what I consider inside, you know, psychic operators, or considered, you know, the place was fake, top to bottom. The patients, the nurses, you know, there was nurses in there. I recognized one was my friend's dad. But maybe I was crazy. I straight out confronted about him. You're so-and-so's dad. You're the reason I can't train in the VR simulators. I mean the combat simulators with the silk screens, not the VR simulators. That's a different story. So when I get out, I go to the website and I see that they use a type of therapy, a modality that employs putting people in there to pretend to be patients. So they had people in there acting like my grandma. My grandma's retired government. My dad's retired government. I could go on and on about personal things, you know, about a little about me. I was going to enlist. I took the ASVAB pre-qual. I placed Tier Alpha, and they were super excited to get me into Army intelligence. And they said, we'll pick you up at 8. Ghosted me for a few days, and then I got a checkup call from a staff sergeant. So, asking if I was okay. And, I'm like, hey, I'm at work, can't talk. So, that hacking organization, I guess, got hacked. I don't even really want to talk about that, but you know, that was really the first time I had come across this whole child trafficking thing, like in black and white. And I read the whole manual. I got it from a GeoCities website. It goes into how they disorient these kids that they fly into these remote airstrips and fields and then take them to places that I've been to where your reality is skewed. Where, like, for example, a house where everything is 45 degrees, so you can't stand up straight. than going into all of the basically watered down satanic version of what the Nazis were researching into mind control and creating trauma-based altars to create sex slaves or Manchurian candidates for assassinations, or can just basically how to brainwash people to install different personalities in them. They call them altars, and the way they did it I'm not going to go into, but I still remember. And they use satanic symbols and numerology and colors, and I do believe there's I'm not going to talk about that. But, yeah, it's serious stuff. And when you're a teenager, that just finished high school, that's just got signed to a record label downtown called Backwards Records, where you and your friend I need my parents to sign a waiver, so I could play shows for 21 and up venues. But they wouldn't do it. I guess they may have drove by or something. And so I went to Peru instead. And, I was studying Spanish. I studied it in the Catholic University, where I got to rub elbows with big high up government types that were from other countries like Colombia and the UK, who were I got to meet a lot of interesting people every time I go to Peru, anywhere actually. So doing that, and this actually happened before. I honestly, let's not dance around it. Like I said, I always wanted to be the nut that busts out the cuckoo's nest, So I wound up being that. I can't even remember which hospitals. Oh no, it was Cedar Springs. Yeah. That was the name of the military mental hospital. That was in high school. That's when I found the child brainwashing manual, where they termed one thing a code white, and to the handlers and the agents, the code white is a subject that is very averse to the programming and has a very strong consciousness. A very strong consciousness even during sleep. And when I read that, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. Because I've always, had crazy dreams. And I can tell something's trying to give me a nightmare. But I've never been scared of any of them. So, except for one or two. Even having a dream where my bed and pillow and mattress are infested with black widows, and no matter how hard I squeeze them between my fingers, they don't die, and they're just biting me everywhere. That doesn't bother me at all. So, first dream I ever had that was unnerving was some of my family on a roller coaster, screaming and smiling, and the Pope's in the very front of the roller coaster, or somebody with the fish hat and a hook cross staff, or a bent cross staff rather, at the front standing, and it derails into a swimming pool that never ends, full of blood and dead bodies and body parts and guts. And the other one I had that was unnerving was some like upside down shit. But anyways, so I get back from Peru after being put on medications for uncovering some memories of my childhood on army bases that I'd never really completely forgotten. I just never put them all together. Anytime any one of these memories would appear, I would quickly look at the ground or, play dumb or change the subject. So, I hate to say it, but I believe I was mixed up in one of these, projects or whatever I was reading in this book that got my account locked out, which was the only place I had the book. And the only other place I sent the book was the FBI, and I'm not saying they were the same servers, but the article did come out right after I sent it because the hotline was just a busy tone. I'm living in Highlands Ranch, Colorado at this time. A lot of my friends growing up there have pictures hanging by their front doors of their parents shaking hands with the president, holding the letter, or the letter that the president wrote them. A lot of my friends, their parents were contractors in the Department of Defense, like mine. So, I have ties to a lot of personal ties to a lot of the conspiracies at play in our government. So, I feel personally responsible to, piss off my life to a point where, I get wrapped up in situations where a normal person would never even consider possible. Like, terrible things that the Illuminati does at the Luxor, or what they do with giant 35,000 empty pound trucks, medical waste trucks, going all the way from, Cali through Mexico, through Texas, or UFOs, or classified, stuff. A lot of things I don't want to talk about. Any of this, a normal, rational person wouldn't bring up. I feel personally responsible. I've been, like I said, personally victimized by a lot of the conspiracies at play and have personal relations with them as well. And people tell me things. Big, high up, wig-wearing people, like in the government, and shit like that. Okay? So, personal friends and family, we can leave it at that. Just like the devil worshippers their bosses work for, they love bragging about things they know that no one has the cojones to fucking even hear when they say it. So I can give you one example. I had a relative pull me aside on my 13th birthday in Washington, D.C. to tell me 3 government secrets. And I can't even repeat them because he had the cojones, okay? So, or she, he or she may have got on his or her knees to take a picture with, anyways, personal. So, victim. So, I have been, probably needing the mental hospital. I told you I've been there so many times, in jail, but I'll come out and say it. I do believe I'm a targeted individual, and I can say that without a doubt to myself, just not out loud. But the day I went to buy my first handgun, Obama emergency schedules an executive order to ban people who've ever been in an outhouse from being able to buy one. when I ask why I can't purchase this gun, the lady goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry." The second time I went to buy a sniper rifle, after a frustrating ordeal with getting the forms to fill out, I left the pawn shop or whatever it was and walked to a Greyhound bus stop and sat down in an empty terminal, and a lady walked up to me and sat right next to me and popped her bag down right by my foot and left it hanging open. And when I glanced down, I could see the header on her notepad or, briefcase in her bag that said, "From the office of President Obama," or something to that effect. So I just, took that as another sign, But I'm probably very heavily monitored, so, me, I wanted to become this guy. So when I was younger, watching I watched a movie called Seven, I think, about the 7 deadly sins. I didn't want to be the guy getting away with murder, but there was a part that he's saying that the FBI will keep you on a list if you just check out a certain book on the library. And so when I heard that, my stupid ass goes, "Alright, I'm only going to check out 2 books from this, Highlands Ranch Library in my high school." And they were both by the same publisher. They were both the same format, hardcover, maybe 30 pages at the most, with pictures, big pictures, written for clearly children. And one of them was a big title, said terrorism. The other one had a big title, said marijuana. So I give them the option, which list are you going to put me on? Are you going to paint me up a terrorist or just another one of those stoners? So before I got any hospitalization, before I came across any manual, granted, yeah. When I was 13, I went to DC and had somebody very high in the military industrial complex. And anyways, those 3 secrets things, but by that point, I would already be, the type of person who I just love my family. I would never talk bad about them. They are my support, even though I was growing up alone most of the time, constantly having to move, being an army brat. In my mind, they were there morally, because anytime I'd meet any of them, and there's a lot of them, they'd be very nice. So I don't want to say I'm a criminal and I have a code of silence. My family's part of the mafia, but I'm not gonna wait for my nona to die, before I start, just trying to see what my voice can do, because I've been shut up, I've been repressed, I've been screwed up, I've been drugged, and I've been privy to the ways that you all are, all y'all who signed non-disclosure forms and got your security clearances and scared to death of going to a federal prison if you do anything other than what you're told, or read anything other than what you're told, or whatever the fuck else they got balls in a vice with. So since I'm basically saying I'm an insider and they're my family, I'd like to find a solution where you don't have, you know, some goddamn religious fanatics at the helm, you know, beating the drums of war until we get to use those fucking bunkers that we built everywhere, including DIA. So when you hear somebody that's like a Colorado person say, "Oh, you got the list of are you on the list of DIA?" No? Oh, don't worry. I'll burn you in. So I guess they'll burn you like digitally, plastic card. I think there's holes, or maybe they'll burn you in there because, I mean, shit, everyone's gonna go there. What are we gonna? Oh, we'll let them in, and then we'll burn them in there. So yeah, no, I don't want us to see that. Do you? You made movies about it. This secret cult, you know, that you want to fuck around and find out about and join. Wonder how they got all these damn secrets. Anyways, something's prying my brain. So I do believe it's time to focus on the drive. I don't want us to get so devolved that we go ahead and have Disney install for free and anybody